Hey, welcome to another episode of Andy's Self Help. Today's subject is death. Now, death is not the subject that we all talk about every day, but most of us think about it every day in some way, shape, or form. And it's something that every human experiences in some way. It's one of those shared, really honestly shared humane experiences, all right? It's just something that everyone's going to deal with on this planet. Every creature is going to deal with in some way, shape, or form because it is one of the few reminders that there really is an end to this journey. And it's something that you don't want to face because let's face it, if sorry about the repeat there, but let's be honest here. If you thought about death every day all day and just let it completely encapsulate you, you'd kill yourself. And that's just proven because if you know there's an end and all you can think about is the end, how are you going to be here for the now? So we've all dealt with this by maybe losing a family member, a friend, an ex-partner, lover, pet, something, or maybe you're just one of the people who empathizes and sympathizes with all the deaths due to coronavirus, or you saw a huge bus crash, or anything. We all deal with it, and it affects all of us in multiple and different and a variety of ways. So while this is not the best subject to look at, I bring it up because when I was at a call the other day, there was this old lady that she was a bitch. All right. She was a terrible person. She was just someone that she was sour now. All right. And she looked sour. Like she had the kind of hunch, walking with the cane, like all that. She had what looked like, bitterness had crippled her over the years. And my first thought was, and not you bitch, you suck, was just, I wonder how many people are actually going to be upset when you die. And I wasn't even meaning it in an aggressive way. It was a genuine concern. And I say this because when my mom's parents died, at their funeral, there was roughly 15 people. And of those 15, five were my family. Only one person cried, which was my mom, because it was her parents, but they weren't the best people. They lived their life trying to gain respect, and not even respect as in people liking them, just respect as in look at my power. They tried to build their own empire, and they kind of did. They became rich. But at the end of it all, it meant nothing. Because when you're in your grave and you're not on this planet anymore, the only thing left behind is your legacy. And that's something that you don't want to taint. And it's not that hard to do. It's all about building the connection. Listen, making money's great. Having a high status is great. Having all of this is phenomenal because it means more freedom to be you. But if you throw people under the bridge and burn those bridges just to get there, then you have no one to share this success with. You have no one to share these accomplishments with. And let's face it, if it's just you in your head knowing that you did all this stuff and no one's there for you to gloat to or preach to or just get excited with, then it means nothing. I think it's the reason in a lot of ways that people like to flock to religion. And then that's not a bad thing. I'm not a religious person, but I completely see why people want to be in it. I like to believe there's a higher power, but that aside, it's nice to be in a group that share the same ideology as you, that all share in the same belief that whatever happens after we die, we all believe this one thing. It's nice knowing that at least you'll see people who agree with you there because we have no real answers. It's one of the few things in life that we have no answers for. Some believe in the paranormal, some don't, some believe in afterlife, some don't, some believe in reincarnation. There's too many options. But whatever works for you works because it just makes you get through the day. But whatever it is when it comes to dying is the only real answer we have is that you leave behind some kind of trail, some kind of story, some kind of legacy. And I don't know, after my grandparents died and seeing this old lady, I think one of the worst things that could happen is knowing that your death meant nothing. You leave all these accomplishments behind, but the reality is if you had a huge company, someone, your successor, is going to take over. And after about 5 years, there may be a portrait of you in the hall, but that's going to be it. Because if you burned all the bridges to where your kids don't give a fuck about you, if you had kids, or your spouse, or whoever, or your family, or your friends, if none of them give a shit about you after 5 years, what can you really say? For example, I have lost family members like anybody else. It sticks with me and it hurts me. My grandfather died, and not my mom's parents, but my grandfather, my dad's side died. And it still sticks with us. It's hurt my family dearly because he was an important person to us. No, he was not the richest. No, he was not the most intelligent, but he was the most charismatic. He was one that really brought the image of the room to fruition. He made everyone excited to want to be around. I'm explaining this with fondness and memory, and it's all up here. I'm sorry, I'm not very expressive, very stoic. um, it meant something. And this is something that's very important because he left behind a legacy due to who he was as a person. His character is what stays behind, not his accomplishments. My mom's parents, the only thing they're remembered for is they had a lot of money. And I'm not joking. That's how all of us talk about it in my families. They had a lot of money. That's all we got. They sucked otherwise. And so I don't want to make this video too much about me and too much out of space here, but I just want everyone to live their best life. I don't want your funeral to be something that it happened and then it goes away and everybody's just sitting there going, come on, can we wrap this shit up? Listen, I see the body. He's dead. She's dead. I get it. I got a 3 o'clock meeting. You don't want that. You want people to be boo-hooing and being upset or being joyous. The fact that you live such a great life that they're happy to be here to celebrate your death. Not celebrate it in, a negative way. Just celebrate it in a way of saying this person really lived one hell of a life and I'm glad I knew them. That's what you're hoping for. And that's what you're aiming for. And to do that, you need to build relationships. Get a fat paycheck, get a great job, get something that means something to you. But remember, it means nothing if you share it with no one else. So share it with someone, make a relationship. If you don't want to get married, that's fine, but have a relationship, have some friendships, have a good relationship with your family. The connections you have are truly never expire after your death. They're the things that stick with you. They're almost like templates on your name. Like they're the ones that are like badges of honor. That's what you need. Now, I can't tell you this is the best thing you need, but I do know that part of the human experience, due to us being a group herding type community of people, you need others with you. You need help to reach the next step. Nobody did it on their own. If they say they did, they're a fucking liar. They had people along the way that helped them. Maybe they burned the bridge with them after, and that's their loss, but they had someone to help them because we as humans are flawed and you need the help. And one of the things that does help you is knowing you're not alone on this sketchy journey. I mean, think about it. We have a huge galaxy out ahead of us, and we always forget about it because it's too scary to think about mortality. It's too scary to think about how small we truly are in the vast, well, I guess really the vast everything that is around us. It's a scary thought, and it's something that nobody wants to talk about. But what you do here now in this little society world that we've made is you just gotta have the connection. And I'm honestly gonna cut it off there because I feel like I'm just about to repeat myself. Be happy with who you are. Leave behind a true legacy, a legacy that will be remembered, not for what you did, but for who you were. That's what you're aiming for. You want people to love you for who you are, not what you've done. If what you've done is great and you're a great person, you've doubled up and you've left behind an amazing legacy. And let's face it, having a legacy like Walt Disney, that's not easy, okay? Not everybody's gonna be able to do that, especially in the grand scheme of things since we've come so far in society where kind of everything's been done in a lot of ways. But it doesn't matter. As long as you do it in the micro with your family, friends, and in your immediate world, that's all that matters. That means you really left behind something that's going to be tailored and told as stories through other people throughout the generations. And maybe one day it'll stop. But until then, if you make it 30 years, that's pretty fucking good, man. And that's what you're hoping for. I'm not saying don't go for your dreams. I'm not saying that sometimes you got to let people go and you got to burn bridges. I'm not saying any of that's wrong, but choose the right battles and be happy for yourself. Leave behind something that matters to you and matters so much to you that impacts the lives of others in a great way. Leave behind something worth remembering, not something that you just kind of think back on every once in a while. I'm sorry if this message didn't come out as clear as I wanted it to, but I don't know. It made a lot of impact on me when I kind of really thought about it this week, and I just wanted to share it with all of you. Other than that, thanks for listening.